What's going on, everyone? Stephen Curry added to his incredible accolades, winning another championship, his fourth NBA title, and getting the infamous Finals MVP, the one thing that many people believed he absolutely needed to solidify his career, establish himself amongst one of the greats ever, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think that he is already one of the greatest players ever. He completely changed the game in so many ways. He is an incredible talent and the greatest shooter we have ever seen. I mean, he's silly stupid with it. I mean, he is ridiculous. And he's unlike any other player we have ever seen. But ever since he got his fourth ring, there have been all these talks and all this debate that makes absolutely zero sense to me. And that debate is LeBron and Stephen Curry. Who is better? Who is the better player? And to me, it's the silliest argument I've ever heard in my life. Like, LeBron James is nowhere in comparison to Steph Curry as far as it goes, as skill set, talent-wise, the level of player, things like that. Steph is not a LeBron James level. Steph Curry is likely top maybe 20 all time. I think you could put many players ahead of Stephen Curry. LeBron James, he is arguably the greatest player ever. There is no debate, is Steph Curry as good as Michael Jordan? There's debates about, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? Like, that is a real solid argument. LeBron James is one of the greatest minds ever. The intangibles he does defensively, offensively, his mindset, how he's able to pass the ball, facilitate, how he's able to rebound, his size, his stature, just everything about LeBron James. He is the far superior player. And don't get me wrong, Steph Curry is an incredible talent, as I said. He is an amazing player. He has changed the game in so many ways. But winning 4 titles is not the same thing as LeBron winning the 4 titles. It's just not. It's not the same comparison. You got to remember, 2 of those titles were arguably one of the greatest teams ever with Kevin Durant. And without Kevin Durant, it is very likely the Golden State Warriors would have 2 championships, not 4. And that right there is a huge thing. And LeBron, without Kevin Durant, LeBron probably has another 2. So he's probably tied with Jordan at this point. LeBron has done more with less. LeBron has had a very different road to the same success. Steph has always had the stability, the culture, the coach, the teammates involved. He has arguably the best supporting cast consistently wise ever. Maybe the only team that you could argue is Jordan Bulls with, Scottie Pippen, things like that. But LeBron has never had that consistency. And don't get me wrong, a lot of that has to do with LeBron James. He's mobile, he'll move, he'll go from one place to another. And I understand people feel that that takes away from what he's done. I don't agree with that. I think that, he's trying to put himself in the best position to win. And originally, before Kyrie, before Kevin Love, the Cleveland Cavaliers did nothing to help LeBron James win. So I don't blame LeBron for leaving Cleveland to go to Miami to team up with Wade and Bosh to try to win a championship. He knew he had to win a championship. If you wanted to be in the GOAT discussion, guess what? You got to win titles. And he knew the only thing he needed was to win titles. What Steph has done is absolutely remarkable. It is incredible. We will likely never see anything like this ever again. But the same thing with LeBron James. There is not a team in the world that would take LeBron James, Stephen Curry over LeBron James if they're both in their prime. Maybe now, given LeBron James's age, stuff like that. But if they were both drafted at the same time, nobody is taking Steph over LeBron James. It's just not happening. LeBron James is the guy that can completely change your franchise in a way. Every place he's gone to, he has won a championship. As much as he moves, as mobile as he is, he always wins wherever he goes. He won in Cleveland, who never won a title. Won in Cleveland. He won in Miami. He won in the Lakers. He's just a proven winner. And Steph is too. But he has many things that LeBron has never had. And consistency. And even there was the debate several years ago that people seem to forget because of recency bias that Steph just didn't show up in the finals. Not just that, but this finals, he didn't even show up in the fourth quarter. That didn't happen with LeBron when it came to finals time. He was the guy that constantly was averaging 40-point, 50-point triple-doubles, was completely taking over games, put teams on his back. I mean, the guy was a monster. And going to Miami really helped his development, really helped his growth because he didn't have that structure to grow like Steph did. Steph had the organizational structure. LeBron never had that. That's why he went to a team like Miami that did have that. And LeBron became a completely different player. If LeBron never went to Miami, it's very likely that there is no argument about how great LeBron is. Because I don't think Cleveland would have done what was necessary in order to build a contender around LeBron James. But once LeBron left, that made the Cavaliers just in disarray. They got a bunch of draft picks. They hit and got lucky with Kyrie Irving. And so LeBron was like, there's my guy that I can go and win a championship with. We have these other young pieces that we can trade and move, and let's go get Kevin Love. That's how that developed, and they won. And LeBron would have won more titles if it wasn't for Kyrie or Kevin Durant being on the Golden State Warriors. If Kevin Durant wasn't a Warrior, the Golden State Warriors wouldn't have won those 2 championships against those LeBron James teams. I mean, one of those championships that LeBron lost, the entire team was hurt. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and LeBron still was able to force a game 6 and stuff like that and still put the team on his back. You're telling me that if they were both healthy, that he wouldn't have won those next 2 championships? Of course he would have. But he had to go up against a team with Kevin Durant on the team. And even then, that one finals, if it wasn't for J.R. Smith, who knows how that series goes? LeBron James is a completely different level of player than Kyrie Irving. It's not close. It's not comparable. Championships are a team accolade. People buy so much into championships that it's silly at this point. Like even the media, if you don't have a ring, you're not like Charles Barkley. You don't think Charles Barkley is one of the greatest players ever and he doesn't have a ring? Like Robert Horry, is Robert Horry the GOAT? He has more rings than anybody. What about Bill Russell? Bill Russell was one of the best players in the league, one of the best players in history, and has more rings than everybody. So why isn't he considered the greatest ever? You almost never hear debates and arguments and conversations about Bill Russell being one of the greatest ever. There's levels to this. And you're seeing all this conversation that makes no sense. It's the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life. No, Steph is not the comparable player to LeBron James. He's not. Steph Curry isn't even top 5 all time. He's not. There are many other players that are far better than him. Steph is arguably not even top 5 in the NBA today. How can he be comparable to LeBron James? LeBron James would have won the scoring title if he would have played 1 or 2 more games. Come on. There's levels to this. And it's just a silly argument that I've seen. There's no realism in this argument. There's no realism in this debate. I understand recency bias. I understand Steph just won his 4th title, which ties LeBron and all of that stuff. That doesn't mean that they are the same player. That doesn't mean they're equally as good. That doesn't mean anything. Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant have the same amount of rings, and most people think Kobe Bryant is better than Tim Duncan. If you took a poll of 1 million people, I think it would be a night and day that Kobe Bryant is better than Tim Duncan as a player. But they have the same amount of rings. It's not a comparison. It's not something that is real. It's not something that is valuable. It's just a silly argument. But as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Do you agree with this? Do you disagree with this? How do you feel about it? I do think a lot of the people that are spewing this are just LeBron haters. And look, you don't have to like LeBron, but appreciate his greatness. Look, I'm not the biggest LeBron fan in the world, but I appreciate his greatness. I appreciate what we are witnessing, and it's going to be a different NBA when he's gone. He is arguably the greatest player ever, and that is a real debate. You don't have that debate with Steph. And as much as people like to hate on LeBron, he is the perfect. Even Jordan had scandals and stuff. LeBron is the perfect model for a superstar player and one of the greatest ever. It's insane the type of player he is. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.